Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Chelsea Chong Kim, who's here to share with us her new children's book, Carol the Carrot, Bowls for the Salad Bowl. So are you looking for a children's book that inspires compassion and teamwork? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. So, Chelsea Chong Kim is an award-winning children's book author, podcast host, and former middle school math teacher whose debut book, Carol the Carrot, Bowls for the Salad Bowl, was featured on iHeartRadio, Valiant CEO Magazine, and Good Day Fox Stateline. In addition to writing, she hosts Chelsea's Story Nook podcast, where she interviews authors worldwide and shares behind-the-scenes insights into the creative process. She's currently working on the second Carol the Carrot book, developing magical new characters and merchandise that champion individuality, teamwork, and confident leadership. So welcome to the show, Chelsea Chong Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Chelsea, it's such an honor to have you here and to talk about this book. So, what inspired you to write this?
What inspired me to write this book was the idea came from a combination of my personal childhood experiences and my years of teaching. As a child, I was always that shy, introverted kid who found her voice through very small leadership roles like creating clubs and organizing events. I remember that one time founding that first historical Korean club in my high school ever. In that high school, there was never a cultural club, specifically in that high school that I went to, which gave me my first taste of leadership. I created my first Korean club ever in that school. And even I wasn't sure why I started that anyways, but something in me was like, I gotta create this. So that's where my whole leadership came from. And I was ready for it. And later, as a teacher, I saw so many of my students struggle with the same feeling of self doubt I had growing up. That's when I got the concept of salad bowl that just struck me. It's not about blending in, it's about embracing what makes you unique and learning to work together. I wanted a story that celebrates individuality, which showing kids how to collaborate, lead, and even shine. So Carol the Carrot was born, a character who embodies perseverance and the courage to lead even when you're feeling unsure. And all the characters in the book, if you guys go ahead and read my book on Amazon, each of the book that I done so many research on and everything is actually coming from my characteristics and from my mom and my brother. It's just from all these blends of mix of characteristics of the character that comes from my childhood experience as a teacher, as my own personality, like self-doubt and all these cool personalities.
Well, it's so thoughtfully written, and I just love the book. I think it's a perfect gift for all children. How did your experience as a teacher influence the lessons and themes in this book?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, as a teacher myself, I think it came from the creativity that has been the cornerstone of my teaching career. I've always believed the best learning happens when students feel engaged and inspired, whether it was organizing student leadership program, hosting events like Read Across America, or leading philanthropy initiative. I use storytelling as a hands-on activities to connect with students. For example, I would create team-based challenges that reflect the real-world problems or encourage students to step in leadership roles during school events. Some of them, I think most of my Carol the Carrot fans knows about this because I shared this on my Instagram stories. I used to be an ASB coordinator at my school where I used to be a math teacher and an ASB coordinator. And at that school specifically, I had a lot of students who really had self-doubt. And I came up with this plan and whole concept and program and that school. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to step in this role, even though it may take a lot of time and my energy and 12 hours of my day. But I wanted each kids in that school to represent themselves. And I had like, student body leadership in that school, vice president, president, secretary, and treasurer. I want each of them to have a voice. And a lot of them, they use that in their resume when they went to college or when they went to high school. And all of them, when they gave me their testimony, like, Mrs. Kim, like, I'm so happy I got into this school, Mrs. Kim, because you showed me this leadership. Like, all these things, just like, I was so happy that they just gave me that joy as an educator. It gives me that, I don't know how to explain this in words, but it's just I'm so happy that even this sparked my joy as an educator. And now as an author, I can really get out of the classroom and spread this all around the world where a lot of testimonies comes about when I see this in Amazon reviews and when I actually see a lot of people in person come to me and tell me like all their stories, like how my book actually really gave a voice to their child and gave them a little leadership in them and an I can mindset really, really helped me like, wow, this is my purpose as an educator and how I influenced this whole approach came about.
Do you think because of you have such a unique perspective in regards to maybe kids that are feeling a little shy that you can kind of spot them a mile away and help them blossom?
Yes, that's really a good perspective on that because as a child myself, I was a very shy, introverted kid, and I could really spot on a shy, introverted kid a mile away, like even in front of me or when they're like sitting in the back of the classroom, I can sense it. When they like walk into that classroom or even walk into like any events when I'm hosting an author visit, I can sense it. I don't know. Maybe it's about their posture. It's about their eye contact. It's a way of how their aura is. But I know deep inside they want an answer, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Well, and can you share a moment when a reader or student's feedback really validated your hard work and inspired you further?
Oh, yes. Through my book and my time as a teacher, I've been blessed to witness many touching moments that have been validated why what I do. One memory stands out very vividly. A parent once shared me over dinner how a conversation with his son about my book inspired a boy to step out of his comfort zone and pursue a dream that he'd been hesitant about. And the moments like that reminded me that the seeds I plant, whether in a classroom or through my writing, can grow into something much, much bigger. I also think back into a particularly shy student who didn't want to stand out because she was afraid of hurting other people's feelings. But through encouragement, she realized that blending it wasn't the only option. She went through to make an history by finding the first Korean club at her high school and creating a leadership program that continues to inspiring others. And that shy student was me. If I could overcome my fears and grow into a leader, I believe every shy student out there can find their voice too. These stories are why I continue to teach, write, and share. And further along, like there's so many testimonies I want to share with you guys, but I think that was like moments like that, especially if like moments that happened to me too, that was a very, very pivotal moment for me. Yeah.
Well, it definitely sounds like it. My goodness, what a great, just a great understanding, not only of yourself, but the people around you. Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Chelsea Chong Kim in regards to her new book, Carol the Carrot, Bowls for the Salad Bowl. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special, When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place, here is where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest, Chelsea Chong Kim, in regards to her new children's book, Carol the Carrot, Bowls for the Salad Bowl. What advice would you give to others that are looking to redefine themselves in a new field?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question too. And redefining yourself starts with embracing your vulnerability. It's not easy stepping out into a new field, but growth often comes from being uncomfortable. My advice is to take small but like very small steps. When I transitioned from being teaching to a writing perspective, being a teacher and to an author, I lean on my experiences and story as a teacher to shape my first book. I found that my past often hold valuable lessons that can guide us into our futures. Surround yourself with people with uplift you and be unafraid to learn as much as you can. Also, failure isn't a dead end. It's just a detour. And lastly, trust your voice. Whether you're stepping into a creative field or a completely different industry, your unique story and perspective are your greatest strength.
Well, I think you're in the perfect field to help people redefine themselves because they are trying to figure that out as little students. Like, what am I going to do? I want to be an astronaut or, marine biologist, but I like teaching too. So I'm sure you've got all these young minds, these brilliant minds that are molding and shaping that you help them find their path.
Exactly. Yes.
So your book really emphasizes teamwork. I think in a lot of ways, compassion and inclusivity. Why are these values important for young readers?
Oh, they're very important to young readers to really hold themselves accountable, where as a young age, a lot of us find that our identity is very lost in such a young age. We don't know who we are. We get lost in such a in a world where we're so diverse. We don't know if we're who we are in exactly like I myself when I was a Korean American. I don't know if I was a Korean or even American. I don't know if I was really a shy person or a very extroverted, introverted person. It could be like from writing an A or a B properly in a school setting. So I think being a very unique person comes from within, and I want everyone out there to know that it's okay to be different. but it's okay to be even shy or extroverted or even introverted yourself. It's being you, where how you were born yourself, it's a beauty. And I want you guys, everyone, every child or parent or family out there to be like, to love yourself, to embrace yourself. And inclusion is such a beautiful thing where not only we're a melting pot, but we're an actual salad bowl.
I love that. So, where did the idea of bowling come from that incorporates this book?
That's a beautiful question. Thank you for asking that. The metaphor of a the bowling aspect really came from life. I was actually, this is a funny thing. I was like, what rhyme with salad bowl? And I was like, I need to put a sports because I want something, a teamwork, something. How can I put something like, I need like a climax to the story, right? And I wanted to put a sportsmanship in this. And I was like, oh, got it. I'll just put a bowling in this thing, in my story. And life is literally like a bowling. We make strikes, we make misses, we make a gutter sometimes in our life. And I felt like this whole bowling aspect really fits in with this salad bowl concept. And in life we miss the whole goal in our life. Sometimes we make a whole strike, but at the end we are a whole team as in our whole life circle. And we need a whole salad bowl. And if imagine our life is just carrots, right? It will be boring. It's not tasteful at all. We need sometimes lettuce in our life. We need cucumbers, eggplants, and sometimes we need a bowling. We need to like mix it in our life. And I feel like this whole bowling aspect just came beautifully in my story.
And I think for a lot of people, it just shows the beautiful diversity that
Yes,
can happen when we all come together.
yes, yes, yes.
Well, in your story, and we're not going to give any spoilers away here, but Carol the carrot befriends Mandy the mandarin, and there's this real friendship between the two of them. They support each other during really difficult times. How
Mhm.
can parents or teachers use this to teach empathy?
Yes, they can teach empathy with this well, if you guys read the scene in this book where Carol the Carrot is grabbing Mandy's arms and then Mandy's trying to give up in one scene and she's like, I can't do this, Mandy. You play without me. And then Carol's like, no, I cannot be a team without you. We can do this. I can't, like there's a scene in that moment. And then there's a whole empathy. There's this whole like scene in the bathroom where she's trying to find Mandy where she is. And then she's like, I'm not an orange. I'm a Mandy, Mandy the Mandarin. There's this whole beautiful story and beautiful harmony together and understanding. And I think parents, if you guys have a whole background when you were in a child as a child, you had that friend you felt bad for, right? And then you wanted to go and approach them, but you didn't know how to. Or you wanted to talk to your child on how to talk to your child on talking about empathy, understanding, and love on, either or with friendship and teamwork. This is the book where you can actually feel that way of the feelings on how to approach that in a sense where it's kind of cute and funny, but at the same time, this is how empathy can play. It's a perfect way to actually teach your child through my book, but not only through my book, but really teaches your child a life lesson on empathy. I think if that can help you guys.
Well, there are so many valuable lessons and values that are within this book. I found it to be such a great read. I'm pretty sure that parents and teachers will learn a lot as they are incorporating this with their students and children. If our readers and listeners can take away one message from your book, what would you want that to be?
Mm. I want all my shy souls out there and anyone with the spirit to realize that their unique qualities are strengths, not weaknesses. Being humble and kind doesn't mean being taken advantage of. It means learning to set boundaries and embrace their leadership and really use your voice to make your differences. The takeaways I hope to leave with this is to celebrate what makes you unique, encourage others to do the same, and work together to build something greater than yourself. Whether through my books or podcasts or events, my goal is to empower people to lead with compassion and confidence while staying true to who they are. So go strong, stay rooted. We got this. Let's carry it on.
So, do you have any future projects or upcoming releases that we can look forward to?
Yes, I'm actually very thrilled. I have so many exciting upcoming announcements. First, I'm highly excited. I have a second book, Carol the Carrot series, launching in spring 2025, which is the second series of this book. It's the installment includes everything that fans has been asking for, and it delivers an important message you want in your hands like ASAP. Like a lot of schools are already wanting to pre-order. So make sure you guys have your calendars ready. It's going to be in spring 2025. So make sure you mark your calendars. Parents from top-rated private schools are already reserving bulk copies, so don't miss your chance on Carol the Carrot. So in addition to the new book, I'm expanding my author visit globally. I'm offering more convenient in-person sessions and virtual author visits to make connecting with me easier than ever. I'm also launching exclusive online leadership courses for kids grades K through 12 and a special social media blueprint course designed for aspiring authors. Finally, my Carol the Carrot merchandise, including the plushie, is still available, but stock is very limited. So grab yours before they're gone. Make sure you follow me on Instagram for all the updates, which is Chelsea Story_Nook. And go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Chelsea Story Nook Podcast, where I interview all the authors all around the world. And I can't wait to share even more updates with all you guys soon. Oh, my website is chelseastorynook.com.
Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Chelsea. It's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your new children's book, Carol the Carrot, Bowls for the Salad Bowl. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.